So we'll just take this time together to go on a little journey into our direct experience and just allowing whatever is wanting to come through and just noticing and allowing what that is. So beginning to get settled, closing the eyes if that feels supportive for you. And drawing all of your attention and awareness just into your experience. But just really allowing everything to settle down and deepening in with yourself, with presence. As they say in Zen, taking the backward step and simply arriving. And we are entering a shared field of presence and process today. And if there's any hesitation in your system, just make a conscious choice to participate, however that might show up for you. And remembering that this unfolding, this process, this noticing, and this transmission will meet you exactly where you are. So exploring how it is for this to come to you. There's nothing you need to do. So we just are wading in very gently and allowing awareness to simply flow through the words, the energies, the experience. And we'll just start to go a bit deeper now. Allowing this space to be clear and open and protected, free of any interference or distortion, just allowing the purity to flow. And there's a real tenderness as we begin, a tenderness that also feels like a freshness. And as we contact that tenderness, just allowing everything to continue to settle, even if it is a bit tenuous to be with the tenderness. There's a process of liberation happening very deep in the gut. And it might not feel like liberation at first, but that is the root of it. And I could feel that theme of releasing blame, self-blame, and layers related to that almost immediately as we entered. So I feel that here in the gut, clearing guilt, self-blame, and just other discordant feelings related to that. Things are starting to open up a bit more space coming in. There's a sense of confidence coming into the solar plexus. Very simply, I can. So just reinforcing this thought form, I can, I can, I can. I can trust, I can expand, I can feel, I can be. And again, it's all feeling very tender, so just allowing it to go slowly, going at its own pace, not to overwhelm, to allow this very simple integration as we move together. And allowing this confidence in the solar plexus to, it's like getting to know itself as you, this truth. There's a deeper wholeness coming into the field. I actually hear it as a we. We are whole. There's a very quiet joy and contentment arising. I could feel the solar plexus starting to talk with the higher heart in the upper chest and the throat. And that's bringing forward this very quiet joy and contentment from the heart center that just radiates out through the whole embodied field. And it's like the whole nervous system is becoming even more receptive to truth, to what's true, who and what you truly are. Just allowing our collective field to go a little bit deeper now. And there's a deeper quality, and it's also like a fullness. Mm. There's a deeper quality of tenderness arising that is a very different flavor than the one prior. It's like a melting that is joyous and has a sense of relief to it. And that brings expansion. And the expansion allows aspects to arise that were hidden, deeper stresses to come up and get seen, felt, released. This is just the natural flow. So I'm just feeling some of these very subtle stresses starting to self-liberate, just unwind themselves. So we just allow this unwinding, this unbinding. And that brings more wholeness, more interconnection, more self-knowing. And we expand even more, expanding beyond the confines of the separate self idea. And clearing the mind and the mental body so that it doesn't throw up resistance to this expansion. pristine clarity, like a still lake reflecting the sun, fluid, fluid mystery permeating through with light. Allowing all of the unknown and unknowable fears and questions, concerns, all of the uncertainty, just to be met by this fluid clarity, this presence. And just as this happens, I can feel those deeper layers again in the gut, in the solar plexus. Deeper layers of guilt and self-blame, not knowing how to trust the self. Because the small self is so small. How could it know? Just allowing that all to clear. The small self, the young self, those young parts that had to make those choices and those decisions, working with what they had. And all of that gets bathed in this light, this presence, this purity. And this quality of affection, like a nuzzling, this affection arising in the heart center. This love, this compassion for everything that we've had to endure while being limited. There's a bigger quality of self coming forward, soul or spirit, or simply beingness. Allowing that to step into the foreground a bit more. Allowing doubt to Simply release. And we expand a bit more, the whole field opening, widening in all directions. This broadening and deepening. I feel this very subtle process of that higher self, these kind of upper realms, the centers above the head, getting more connected, coming down and getting more connected. And more freedom and liberation with this. And more opening of the heart and this capacity for joy. And a sense of renewal. We started with that freshness, and here there's a sense of renewal coming through. And something says, I am free, I am free, I am free. Allowing this freedom to be so simple, without question. And bringing this deep into the body, into the felt sense. Bringing this down through into the lower centers, bridging into the sacral and the root, and down into the earth, where we connect with the earth star. Just grounding the energy in the subtle bodies down into the earth, to this earthly presence. And there's a quality of power here. See what it's like for this power from the earth connection to be present. Just simply noticing and allowing. There's this very funny image I'm getting. It's like if you have a fish tank and you introduce a new fish to it, you like put it in the bag that it's in the water to allow it to adjust to the temperature before releasing it out of the bag into the tank. So it's like we're just getting used to this quality of power, how it feels as it contacts the system before we fully unleash it, before we fully encounter it directly. And there's a way that it's waking up the whole central channel and spine, like more space and fluidity through the spinal column between each vertebrae. And knowing that the earth has us. She's like, I got you. And we can notice how this support is a power source. And there's more wholeness coming in. And I feel this especially in the sacral, in the sacrum itself. And the wholeness provides a quality of bridging also up into the solar plexus and the higher centers above it and down to the root and the earth. And just allowing allowing, allowing, allowing. Allowing this connection, this knowing, this trust, this power. Just as the fullness of this connection comes online. And there's something about this that is like an invitation into rawness, to be raw and real. And I'm just hearing allow, allowing, allowing, allowing. And feeling this moving up the central channel. And just focusing wherever is right in your system. It'll just hang out there. Allowing the adjustment, allowing the allowing. Just going to hang out here with this process, this fortification. It's a quality of a deepening that feels like the soul. And more wholeness. There's a very deep sense of being held. And a lot of light. A deeper opening to self, a deeper allowing of what is, an effortlessness. I feel this especially in the heart center, bodhicitta, opening. The tenderness of what is. And there's a quality of perfection, of innocence, of home. So allowing this to slowly come to a fullness and a completion, and offering gratitude to this divine reality, divine presence, that which we all are. And I'll just very slowly and gently start to close this wide aperture, though there's nowhere that you need to go or move away from. And just slowly transitioning in your own time